Hello everyone and welcome to Chai with Rai, a life and culture podcast diving into the mindset and business of being a creative. I'm your host Raya, and each week I bring you a guest or a fruitful message from the creative industry, all while sipping and spilling some hot chai. Why? Because all good things happen around a hot cup of chai. Now, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. If you love this podcast and are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, or wherever you are streaming this podcast from, if you could do me a kind favor and make sure to rate the podcast down below and share it on your stories, on social, and spread the word. It organically grows the show and connects us with listeners who haven't tuned in before. And overall, as I always say, it just shares the love. Also, if you haven't done so already, you can now become a patron, aka a supporter of Chai with Rai, by signing up on Patreon for £5, or as I love saying it in this accent, $5.50. Each month your subscription will help support the show, but also get you exclusive BTS footages, that is behind the scenes footages, and some extra juicy bits. I will put the link for the Patreon channel as well as all the other info in the description of this episode, so make sure to check that out. But as of right now, let's warm up our cuppas and let's dive into today's episode with our third story from the series Symphonies of Beaded Threads. Make sure to check out the previous stories as well. I will be dropping a story each day. 8 stories, 8 days, 8 days of Christmas. I already did that joke, I don't need to do it again. But let's get into today's stories, which is titled Catherine, and it is by Bethany Gemmell, and it actually features her mum, who's also in it, Catherine Gemmell.
When I dress myself in the jewellery she gives me, I dress myself in the love she gives. She told me.
Over COVID, I started knitting. I enjoy making things with my hands and the accomplishment of making something well. I was looking for a new challenge and wanted to give beading a go. What I enjoy about beading is availability of the great free patterns, the great designs, and all which are very different that can be found on the internet. Lots of YouTube tutorials and all the beads, their colours, the textures, the shapes and sizes. I do enjoy making the bracelets. They are a good size, varied complexities, and some more challenging than others, and all look great when completed. There's a lot of patience and persistence needed. I have become familiar with reading the patterns and watching the tutorials, which can initially look complicated. Knowledge of some basic stitches and understanding of how things impact on the pattern allows me to adapt patterns slightly. When I give people the jewellery I make, I am worried that it may fall apart, even though I know I have done a good job. I don't see myself as being creative. I am very good at following patterns and will be persistent in getting it right, including taking things apart if necessary. I am not able to make my own designs, but once I become familiar with patterns, I can adapt and problem solve if need be.
I was due on her birthday. I tell her her jewellery is always perfect. It never falls apart. Looking like her eyes, Arctic blue spheres with piercing black irises on a white circle. Sharp, gleaming obsidian, dodecahedrons decorating a twinkling silver band that leaves behind a soft metal taste on my fingers when I touch my mouth with them after. Soft and beautiful, like my mum. She would say she is not creative, but she loves to bend patterns and bend metal so finely with her woodworker's vice and big pillowy hands. Tiny twinkling, winking gold and blue and green beads dance across rope intertwining like Celtic triskelion. Lines coiled around each other as lightly as she held me on 15th September 1994 when I was 10 days late. She hums as she creates her art, humming whatever comes to mind. You might hear her now, singing a gentle symphony, creating music from notes in the air. She's a problem-solving mum. She can make and fix anything. Costumes, macrame, whole furniture. She made me little Christmas tree earrings, which looks like the towering Christmas tree she made, which she adorned with lights and tinsel and rolls out every year and hangs on a wall, which she crafted from fencing. Unique and stunning, like her. Catherine Jane.
Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out, and don't forget to rate and comment on whichever platform you're listening this episode on. You can also become a patron and a supporter of the show by subscribing for as small as £5, or as I love saying, $5.50 on Patreon. I will put the information of the artist on the episode and any of the links in the description of this episode, so make sure to check that out. But as of now, I will leave you as I always do. Breathe in and breathe out. Now must go, which means now I must go. That is copyrighted and I will sue. Until next time, stay curious.